Mod time is here, and boy, oh boy, I don't know how we're going to do this one. 61 mods released today. We haven't got mods in what, 3 work days, something like that, and bam, 61 mods. However, it's technically 60 because one's already been removed because I think it was copying some code. All platforms, 25 new and 28 updates, and PC and Mac players, 3 new and 5 updates. So most of the stuff today is for crossplay. Let's start them off. New ones for all platforms. We have quite a few maps today, including Saxlingham Farm Estate from Farmsim Briscoe. We've got custom farmyards all the way around where you can buy and sell all the buildings and junk decoration items. And guess what? They did it without required mods, and the map's only 550 megabytes. How did they do it? I don't know. Tell me why nobody else does it like that. We got custom sounds on the map, custom lighting and environment, custom made houses and farm buildings, 52 fields with missions, which is very, very cool. Here's the PDA for you to take a look at. We also have hidden grasslands to buy inside the forestry areas, 6 different sell points with varying contents of fruits to be sold. We have a Kloss dealership, custom textures, and a BGA. Here is that Kloss dealership. Very, very nice. Very, very cool indeed. We do have some things on the outside, and these things, well, they're basically stuff from the base game that's been put in. However, you can't drive it, so heads up there. Some of these buildings can be opened up, like this one, which has our workshop in the very back, which is very cool. I don't think we're able to use the lift. No, it doesn't have any collisions, but that's all right. Still looks very cool. Based off of, I believe, an English environment. UK environment, which is one of my favorites to play in Farming Simulator. Love the farmland over there. Every time we go over, it's just, man, I just fall in love with farming again. Outside the map, we do have a couple areas that are kind of dressed up, but you're not going to see those. And even if we're on like this road right here, I mean, it's obvious that it ends, but you're not going to be seeing all that extra stuff. It's almost a little bit unfair of the experience that you will have by flying around. But it's the easiest way for me to get from point A to point B and everywhere in between. As you can see, there are buildings all over the place. Most of these can be purchased individually, so you could buy like that farmland there all the way around it, or this farmland in the middle. There's so many different options. So you could buy it just for the logging, just for the building, or you could buy both, and it's all good, and you can expand that area even more. Super duper cool. I love how many different farmlands there are around the map and how different they all are from each other. That's super duper cool. If we pop around and take a look at what we've got in New Farmer though, well, it's not a bunch. It's not a little bit, but it's not a bunch either. We do get a nice little bit through here. Couple buildings. We've got some nice fields too. So we've got farmland number 85, which is going to be our main farm, and some logging areas around. Farmland number 7 and farmland number 19. We also have some big barley fields over here around the corner with field 3 and field 2, and I believe that's it. Yeah, that's it. So nothing else wild and crazy going on through there. But it is pretty cool. We do get a silo system up here. What else is up here as well? Let's see. Boom. Object storage. That's cool. Medium grain silo. We've got our Saxlingham diesel tank, and we've got the house. We visit that. It looks like it's probably just that map that's on the ground, so no interior on that. So heads up. As far as the map itself goes, there are no required mods, as we already mentioned. There's no new crops in here either, so heads up with that, and you kind of see all the goodies through there. Here is your crop calendar, so you can get an idea of what to expect with it. It is different from the base game, so it is worth taking an extra sneaky peek at this one if you have that memorized. If we go down, no animals, at least at the very start. We do have a great setup of contracts, and they're paying fairly decent as well. It's not too much, but it's a pretty good amount, and I like that. No production chains available or owned on the map, so you will have to put those down. And then if we get in here to our vehicle section, we can take a look here. Again, not a bunch of equipment, but I will say it is nice to have like a 6200 as a combine harvester on here. That is a great 6900. It's great to have that as a starting combine. It's big enough to where it doesn't feel like you're just bored and wasting time. Yeah, I dig it, man. I dig it. No wonder everybody's so excited about this map. This is awesome. Well, here's another one that I find interesting. I don't have precision farming enabled, and this field has tram lines. Are there any other fields that have tram lines? A couple, yeah. It looks like there's 2 on here. Yep, that is pretty interesting. No precision farming, but those are still there. Probably was using precision farming when he was doing some testing and just saved the game. That's all right. It does look cool, and it adds to the experience of the map. Unless, there you go, Saxlingham. So quick heads up, I am trying to get these mods downloaded, and for some reason, I guess there's an issue with the servers at Giants right now, because I've got stuff up here that's just like not starting. You see I've got to hit resume on all this stuff right here. This was all like started at the beginning of when I started recording this, and it is now close to 2 hours after mods came out, and like everything failed because it timed out. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get the required mods for both of these, Wernolau and Quebec Countryside. However, because Saxlingham didn't have any required mods, I was able to do that one. So hopefully we'll try and get some of these downloaded and maybe include this in a future video, but otherwise I'm not able to get it done today. Physically just unable to make it happen. I'm really sorry. We got the CaseIH Steiger 4-wheel drive here from Spano Modding and JHHG Modding. This has got between 524 and 692 horsepower wheel brands from Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental Midas, BKT, Wittgenstein, and Lizard. Yeah, we got those wheels that they put on the big bud. This thing looks sweet. Absolutely love it. One of my favorite tractors of all time. Beacon lights, we've got left, right, both, etc. Tinting from 0 up to 100 in increments of 25. Attacher on the back. You've got your 3-point and a regular trailer hitch, so if you don't want the 3-point, you don't have to have it. And then we got some cool colors as well. So we got your main color right here. We'll change that up to white just to take a look. You know what? Nah, man. Let's go Voucher Green. That's almost... Almost. I don't think Kloss is going to be too much. Kloss is too much. Yeah. Voucher Green, that'll work for us. We have our first design right here, which is going to be all of the metal bits, it looks like. So that's kind of neat. Then we have the engine grid on there. So the very front part of it. Rear view mirrors, interior, seat color, and rims. Do we have chrome? Nah, we don't have chrome. But we got toothpaste. That's what matters. Ooh, that's an ugly tractor. On this bad boy, we do have adjustments for the rear view mirrors, or the side mirrors rather. However, those are the only things that we can change up. Oh, yeah! Look at that! Got 'em, baby! Skirt. Next up for EY Modding, the John Deere AO And AR. Tell you what, I think EY Modding might be one of the only modders that just consistently gets mods out early. And they're able to get mods out usually the first time they go through. Either that or we don't know about a lot of the process. Nonetheless, super cool to see this one. We got the AO as well as the AR. Really, the only differences here is going to be what you see on the hood. There's no horsepower difference. There's nothing. So the exhaust on one comes out the side and the top on the other, and then you've got your air intake up there as well, which is pulling in. That's about it. Those are the only differences between both of these. However, it is an absolutely awesome tractor. Yeah. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Ooh, so cool. Let's go first person. And of course, with it being EY Modding, all the stuff works. I don't know how any of that works, but I tell you what, they get it going. Oh, and check out the logo right here. Hang on, hang on. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Maybe more? There we go. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna put this over here for the thumbnail. It's gonna make somebody mad. There you go. John Deere doesn't cover up the case too much. That's not the only one, because we've also got the John Deere 4320 from EY Modding too, and this one has some pretty cool wheel options. We do have between Trelleborg and BKT wheels, horsepowers at the 130 at the top end, 102 down at the bottom end. But one thing that I find really interesting about this is we've got the trike version here. You've got the spread wheels there as well. That's cool. And we got like chunky boy wheels in the back. We got the plowing set up. There's so much to this. And we've got the same things in 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive. Yeah, let's go. We also have the John Deere 6R series. This is a Spano Modding mod. We've got between 280 and 300 horsepower, so not a whole lot going on through there. Wheel brands from Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, Wittgenstein, and a Nokia and Taya. Yep, you got your tools on there. All the wheels you would expect to see. Front wheel fenders, yes or no. Beacon lights, all around. Of course, left, right, both, or none. We also have the window tinting, 0 to 100 in increments of 25. Front loader of John Deere, Quicke, and Harrow. Thank goodness. We've really nice to see that John Deere there. Then we have a bunch of colors. Main, front fenders, rear fenders, engine grid, rear view mirror, and then we have the rim color. And more vehicles for Schultz Modding, the Transtar 2 Eagle. We actually did a mod preview on this, and it's got some pretty cool stuff in here, including some X2 and X3 attachments. So, what we've got the day cab or the sleeper. This does share quite a few customization options with the base game truck, but as you can see, it is debranded, which is not something that we can do. Engines, you got your 400 all the way up to 1600 horsepower, so you can really do some damage with it. Dual exhaust or single. Intake 1 and 2. Yeah, my words didn't work there, but I've already been recording for an hour and a half. I know it's the beginning of the I usually do the end of the video first. Sun shields, horns, additional lights at the top. Oh yeah, we got those as well. Then we get into kind of what makes this special is the paint. We've got a paintable version. Then you have the beige, brown, black, red, and then back to the paintable again. Liftables or attachers, we have the short without deck plate, long without the deck plate, X2 without the plate, X3 without the plate. It is very cool that we have those customizations and those options. So anything that runs on an X2 or X3 platform, we had a lot of stuff in Farm Sim 22, not as much in 25 right now. However, there are a few things. There's a few things in beta on itch and a couple things out already. So very neat. Then you can go with a lift axle if you would like to, and then we've got colors for the main, the frame, and the rim. And another one from Hispano, Siloking SelfLine 4.0 Premium 2215-22. It's a self-propelled feed mixer is what it is. On here, we do have a 22,000 liter capacity, or you can run that up to 200,000, making this a very, very, very nice and attractive option for doing anything having to do with feeding cattle. We got window tinting on here as per usual, and then a bunch of colors, main designs, inch grid fenders, review, and rim color. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much exactly like we saw with the base game of previous games, but with a 200,000 liter capacity and all the color options you could ever ask for. Nice windrow, the Fella TS 800, 40 horsepower, 8 meters at 9 miles per hour, and we do have decal options for new or used, which looks good. They're not super mega used. They're really not much different at all. They're in a little spot and they have 1-2 tears on them. The colors are slightly faded, but I think we could maybe a little better. Maybe a little action, but looks very good. I like the Fella stuff anyway. Next up, Grimme Evo 280. These are going to be some tater harvesters. We have two of them, the Gen 1 and the Gen 2. There's a couple differences between the two of them, but the specs are identical. 200 horsepower, 10.5 tons, and we have a 1.5 meter work with at 6 miles per hour. So really, it's just going to be, which one do you like? You like this one, the Gen 2, or are you more of a fan of the Gen 1? Auto load trailer alert, the Lizard PPB 1220D. This bad boy right here will do between 125 and 238 centimeter rounds and 120 to 488 square. That's going to be your baby bales all the way through cotton in both square and round, all base game stuff, which is amazing. We do have the auto load of yes and no on there. Wheel brands, a couple different ones to choose from through there, additional lining, and we have a folding mechanism, which we can actually add for the front and the back and adjust the folding amount of it. It's pretty cool. And we got a trailer hitch, so you can mount these together. Pretty trailer right there. From the same models, we have the Lizard BB18B and the 24TRD. It's Toyota Racing Development. Yeah. Nah, I'm kidding. It ain't that. We just got a couple tippers between 20,500, 36,000 and 24,500 up to 43,700. Basically a 2-axle or 3-axle variant. I think we've seen stuff kind of like this in the past. They've been Massey Ferguson branded. These are not. These are just Lizard, so there is that. However, we can change that. You could go with a John Deere, although it's not John Deere, it's still Lizard. Then we have a Kloss color setup, Fendt color setup, blue, yellow, white, black, and then back to standard again. Then you've got all kinds of different setups for your wheels, Michelin, BKT, Vredestein, and Nokian, as well as a nice Trelleborg set there, mud guards with or without, and your capacity options. Matt 26 teased this one a couple days ago, but I didn't quite know what he was up to because he never says, hey, I'm working on a Kverneland planter. You're welcome. Or cedar. So this guy right here can be found in the planters is the Kverneland Optima V, 1,360 liters. That is seed and solid fertilizer as well. 70 horsepower, 4.5 meter work width, and 9 miles an hour. Matt always does a great job, and this one is no different. Shocker, we have a homemade disc harrow that's 3 meters. This is the Lizard disc harrow, homemade, 3.2 meters, 95 horsepower, 7 miles per hour max speed. We got all the colors, which is very, very nice. However, it is very, very plain. Pretty standard stuff for this one, the Quicke Palletforks. We've got a setup for front loader and a wheel loader. However, that is it. We also had a bunch of placeables that were released today. We're just going to go over these quickly. We got the stables without fences, so we have multiple different setups for like cows, pigs, horses, and sheep and goats. So you are able to run those, but with no fences. From FSG Modding, FSG Devar, we'd have the large pole barn. So there's a couple different ones that you could go with here. We have 5 different buildings in different stages, and there's 30 different color options to choose from. So you've got the stage 1 price, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So you are able to go through and kind of roleplay building your own barn, which is kind of neat. I thought they were doing a version of this where you could deliver stuff, and they are right there. So there's a version of that as well. You can build it up yourself. How cool! Constructibles, yeah! We've gotten like 6 constructible mods in the past year. Next one's Old Shed. Really not much to talk about with this one. There's also Old Stables, which really should both be in a pack together. Same modder, same building, it just holds animals. There's a lot of modders that make barns that are also animal pens, and they're in the same mod. This probably should be as well. Next are the placeable objects from Wampsville, New York, and etc. It's from the same modder that brought us the Wampsville, New York, which actually got the update today. So you got all the placeables that come with that, but in a pack. Very cool. Next up, Wooden Cow Barn for 35 cows. Southern Brazil Wood House for $11,000. Ooh, lost my voice there. We do have animated doors and windows, which is not always a thing, and there's a full interior, which is super cool. GDR metal mesh panel fence, which is exactly what it sounds like. And the last new one for all platforms today is increased capacity pallets. This was actually the mod that was removed, what is it, a couple weeks ago at this point. It did have the liftable stuff, but I think it was used without permissions, just a copy and paste of the code, and now they've released it, so it's just the pallets. So whenever the game makes pallets, they'll be, instead of 1,000, they'll be 5,000. However, I do not believe that this is going to work with liftable, so you either get one or the other. But one thing to note, this mod has been removed, so it is no longer up. I believe it is still using code that the modder didn't have permission to use, so that has been removed. Now we got updates for all platforms. This includes Iowa Plains View version 1001. They fixed the slurry trigger on the hog confinement, added more paintable textures. We got an added option to remove roads and pathways on the main farm that could cause issues when placing new placeables. To remove them, sell or remove the decorative wagon on the main farm. The roads and the paths are now linked to it. Once removed, farm roads and paths cannot be restored. Save game requirement. No new save game is required for these changes. However, when loading an old save game, if you already removed the decorative wagon earlier, the roads and pathways that are linked to it will no longer be there. As you would expect, if you did not remove the wagon, they will be there. And if you start a new save game, where it's only required if you want the roads, but you remove the wagon. Probably makes sense. I got tongue-tied there. Next up, we have Wampsville, New York. Now, I'm going to go just right off the bat and say, I'm not reading through the changelog. The changelog is insane. It is not like a list of changes. It's like a story. They go through into everything. It's ridiculous. So, if you're playing on the map, definitely check it out. I can't remember if this was one of the maps that got removed or not. I don't remember it being on Moda very long, but I could be wrong, and I apologize if I am. But nonetheless, if you're playing on it, hey, you better go through and read the changelog. It's going to take me 5 or 10 minutes just to read all that. And a similar update to Pfraunstetten as well. Huge update. What is up with all these updates? Well, we have 60 mods today as well. Giants took about 5 days off, so this is what we get. They do say to be able to use all the changes, new save game is recommended. I believe this came out, what was it, back in May or something like that? So at least it's good to see a humongo update. Yeah, again, huge updates. So if you guys play on this map, definitely go check that out. So I'm not reading through all that. Now here's one I could get behind. North March Reloaded version 1101. They do say, please note the update does not require a new save game. The map location of Field 109 was moved too close to the field edge. Approximately 1,000 trees removed. Walls of the village have received new textures, minor bug fixes, and now they wish to continue having fun with the map. And thank you for the support. There you go. That's how you do an update. And here's another nice, short, sweet, and to the point, although the first sentence doesn't make any sense. Wernolau Farm will be version 1.1. New save game is required. Barbed wire fences, sort blocking gates entrances. Huh? Can now only hold the farm, e.g. roadsides and forestry areas. Remove gate on the lane by field 90. Also made the entrance at field 90 by the house wider. Animal trigger fixed on cow shed, grain shed. Now able to tip into the main farm. Main farm silage pit now fills. A little yard by the main farm can now be sold. And changing starting equipment. As someone who did a lot of writing and does a lot of writing, this changelog hurts. MS Modding, please feel free, hit me up. I will fix your grammatical errors in the next changelog. I promise. Got another one. StarValley from Trucker69, who always puts a 6.9 on their maps, and I appreciate it. This will be version 101. They removed grass from inside the stable, removed some trees and bushes from the pathway, added lime mine. Collectibles now match map number 21. Lime and fertilizer sell points at the ferry terminal is now operational. Added salt mine. For those unaware, there's a sea salt and salt from underground deposits. That's pretty cool. This would be the second case. The area next to the shop is now purchasable. On the main farm, the pile of salt next to the seed pile has been modified to be solid fertilizer. Fix the Northwest Bridge, other minor fixes, and a new save game is required to apply everything. And that's only 6 of the 27 updates we have for all platforms. Next was JCB Fast Track 4000 icon from Ross. Fixed minor log error and added module frame support. Lieber Mobile Crane Pack version number 2. Added the LTM 1050 and converted 2-pack and fixed the dashboards on the 1450. Another Lieber, the R960 from Kenny 456 version 1.1. Added easy arm controls, added outdoor camera target configuration, added controls for fast coupler, auto tilt instead of configuration at the shop, fixed tracks, collision, and some minor bugs have been fixed. Next, Volvo FH16 South America. Physics improvement, fix the translation and text issues, fix the fifth wheel collision issue, fix fuel consumption based on engine option, added new tire variants, and added the FH750 engine option. SDF Vineyard Pack 1.1, remodeled the medium frame bonnet, fix some bugs, added more front loader options, and semi-color corrected. Crimpy SKS Pack, attacher adjuster for the Mercedes-Benz DLC, and fix for the key assignment on 3-axle trailer for lift axle and cover. Very, very cool. I assume attacher adjustment means for the other truck. Next one's the Schwarzmuller dumper. I don't know if the bottom is the update or not. It says upgrade. Cover, wheel brand, wheel, body color, chest color, cover color, mud flaps, toolbox. We had that already. I think they forgot to put the changelog in here. We do have an update for the Flegel Timber Runner pack. This is version 1003. Attacher adjustment for the Mercedes-Benz DLC and lift axle control changed. Big update for some headers. This is CaseIH 44 Series Corn Headers 4400. Version 1001, they've added a center row stripe configuration and painted to allow the user to more easily identify the center row when harvesting without guidance. We also have added yield saver brush gathering chain configuration, bunch of words in order, for reduced grain loss with realistic prices. Added the CaseIH Stoke Stompers to protect your tires in various configurations with realistic prices. No function at the moment for the lack of implementation into most maps. However, they could have used the mulcher. That's what JHHG did, and then various visual adjustments. Here's another one that makes the Heiser truck useful. The Brandner DD24073-2 XXLPACK version 101. Attacher for Heiser truck added to the semi-trailer, which to be fair, it's a kind of a small trailer for that. Added high structure, only works with trucks, not with Unimog, and color selection for rims has been added. We can actually see in the screenshot right here the Heiser truck pulling it. It's small. It doesn't hold a lot. Like, what is that, 22,000, something like that? It's not a bunch. We do have a change for the self-made trailers. It'll be version 1.1. Added water tank, fixed collisions, and support has been added. Flegel VFW 1400. Physics and sound adjustment from the farming dudes. I don't know. And then removes superfluous width distributor. Nice use of words there. Next was the safety weight version 101. Added Mercedes-Benz decals and colors. Next one, we have the Nemeslo Maricel pack. One of the too many of these that we have from the exact same modder. This should be in a pack. all of it should be in a pack, but that's just me. We got a version 1.1 of this. You go through it if you want. They've changed a few things and improved a few things. Got an update to the K&S fertilizer version 1001. They now work with take single objects, which is pretty cool. Next one, the grain flank and porch production. This will be version 1001. Pig feed no longer spawns as a big bag, and pallets can be sold. Field storage, they corrected the collisions, increased capacity, and added bond silage. Silo pack, fixed the bale trigger. Rudolph Foreman silo, fixed bale capacity. Bridge pack, they've added a wider version of most bridges to fit wider combine harvesters. Renovated house, minor bug fixed. And timbered houses, no interior. Fixed the roof on house 5 and probably shading problems. What? Jumping over to PC and Mac players, only a couple of them. We got the Mengele Rotant 743. It's basically the Stroutman loader from the base game, but a different brand. And that's kind of that. That's the way that is. We've got the same options for these, but we do have the beater rotors in the very back, which could be added and removed, which is kind of cool. 31,000 liter capacity, 105 horsepower, 9 mile per hour max speed. We also got the AGB Compact Weight. This one weighs 500 kgs or a ton. And then we got the body color and the plate color. Now that plate color is going to be, well, that little AGB logo right there. Last new ones today for PC and Mac players. Construction utilities. The mod adds 2 new tools to the build menu. This is kind of neat. So camera collision can be disabled in the build menu. This makes it possible to place buildings and other objects inside of other buildings in free mode. And also, if you need light in the building menu at night or dark buildings, it's now possible you could turn the light on and off using a button to better place buildings or objects. I will most certainly be using this mod in mod videos because I need it. Lastly, today we have some updates for PC and Mac players, including Ronîda Island 4X. This is going to be version 1.1 at the bottom. They've added a new independent map, the Farmer Edition, and includes 42 fields and 5 meadows. Also have sandy road connection to the shop area to all the fields, fixed snow mask in some areas where the snow shouldn't fall for both maps, and added a sandy road ground texture for painting named Sandy Road to both maps. No new save game is required. This is just simply adding another one. So that is great news. Actually, down at the bottom left-hand corner there, you could see the new version of the map. So there you go. Here is the logging version, and here is the map version. Next up, the MAN TGX 6x2 Straw Bale fixed auto load system. Quick camera version number 2. They've changed the quick tap versus long hold threshold to 300 milliseconds. Prior, it was 150. Added the peek behind, left and right, 120 degrees for the vehicle. Added change direction, then delay flip camera action. The change the direction button will have a long hold before camera is rotated towards the new driving direction. Added quick feet, the snaps 45 degrees left and right, and flip camera 180. Added that the avatar's run speed can be increased using mouse wheel. It's kind of neat. And added the passengers to the vehicles also use the same actions to affect the camera. Next to last, quick selector. This will be version 102, and there is a beta feature with this one. They have enabled the multiplayer, changed the maximum selectable HUD scale to 140 degrees for better visibility on widescreens, fixed an issue with non-working vehicle operation brake when the HUD is open, and fixed an issue with the vehicle's max per page calculation. So more max per page vehicles can be configured for widescreens. And a big one to end out the day, enhanced animal system. This will be version 101. Fixed a bug with the map containing custom animals that prevented them from loading. Added support for additional breeds from or fixed a menu bug that caused the buttons for the stables to be displayed everywhere. Fixed an error on the synchronization of husbandries in multiplayer. Fixed a bug in reproduction when the male part was unavailable. Fixed a bug in reproduction when the animal had never had offspring. And fixed a bug with unsupported animals. And there it is. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like, get subscribed, join the DjGoHam fam, do the notification dance so you never miss videos like this one. Have a great day. Hopefully you're able to dig through these mods and find ones that you like and ones that you want to hang on to. Otherwise, have a good one. We'll see you in the next one.